Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching the John Woodard Show. Uh, I have an old friend here from uh, northeastern North Carolina. I used to live in Edenton, the home of our great Senator Bob Steinberg, and has been a great Republican friend for a long time. Has now moved down to Brunswick County and spreading the conservative message down there, although I think he's got a lot of help with that. So this is my friend Bill Moore. I saw you at the convention, Bill, but I was up in the press gallery, and they wouldn't let me come down. And every time I was able to get down and look around, I couldn't find you. How long have you been living in Brunswick County now?
Only 2 years. I used to live in New Hanover prior to that when I left Edenton, but I moved to Brunswick about 2 years ago.
Well, you had a radio show up here one time, didn't you?
Yeah, and it's interesting because I used to do a conservative talk on a Black Christian gospel radio station out of Alaska, and we did it for like 6 years. We did very well with it. Down here, and if there are other chairs listening to this, you might want to consider it. We found we have an ability right now. We are doing a live stream show on Facebook. It's called All Things Brunswick. You can find it on YouTube. In addition to that, we live stream it through the Big Talker live show on the Facebook site. It's on Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock. And what we're doing is we're highlighting Republican candidates and issues that affect Brunswick at any level. And it's been going on now for about 6-7 weeks, and it's highly successful. Actually started in the beginning of January, so we're in our third month already. And it's highly successful. It's well received. Candidates come on. We give them a good 20, 30-minute talking to. We get information about them. People are liking it. And my two co-hosts with me, we get along very well, and it's obvious that the show's going well. So, and I would suggest to my friends, what we did is we found sponsors, local sponsors, because it costs about $1,000 a month to run it, including the station money, a place for us to rent a place to do the show from, because we remote it. And we have 4 sponsors that pay $250 a month, and they get 2 30-second spots every time the show goes on. In addition to that, they rotate the show through the schedule on a regular basis throughout the day. So they're getting a lot more for it. But we have candidates that have bought time. We have businesses that bought time. And we're doing well. We're hoping to grow, and we only started the live stream, like I said, 2.5 months ago. And we're hoping to get bigger and bigger.
Well, you've had a lot to do with the Republican Party for a long time, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you in particular. I interview folks from the party in different parts of the state all the time, and including all the office holders and everything, but state and federal. But you've probably got as much, if not more, participation in grassroots politics in North Carolina than just about anybody I know. So you're the chairman of the Brunswick County Party, correct?
That is correct. When I was in Edenton, I used to run the Tea Party.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember very well.
And yes, I've been a chairman down here for a year. And we're doing well. I also used to run a group called the Southeast Republican Men's Association. And then I was also running a CCAP group, which is a conservative, if you will, think hat group that we did work and projects along that line. But right now, all my energies are involved in running Brunswick and turning out the vote.
Voter integrity is a big thing in this next election, and of course, that's all. It's only 9 months away. Actually, how do you foresee? How do you view the current state of the election prospects in North Carolina?
I think we're going to do very well across the board. I don't think the people understand how well the party as a group did in this election in 2020. It is true, though we didn't elect President Trump, as far as the nation's concerned, our state supported him. It is also true that we won 8 out of 8 statewide races for judgeships. We took 6 out of 10 slots on the Council of State. In my county, like I said, we took every position, and we gave every person in my county a 19,000 vote average plurality coming out of here, with about almost 100,000 people voting, 96,000 people voting in that election. So we've done well statewide. I think, again, people see the mistakes that were made in other states, and they try to label it here. They also don't realize Chairman Whatley has been tasked to develop a plan, which he has developed, and share what we've done here in North Carolina with other states. If I give anybody credit for what's going on, I think the critical element for him was hiring 540 attorneys or 570 attorneys, forget what the number is. But he trained them, he put them in every county, and they were there to count every vote, to make sure that every vote belonged to be counted, and minimize whatever cheating they could find, and do away with it. And, the example to that I give everybody is Judge Newby. I know when Judge Newby heard that there was a recount, he kind of got down, because we've never won a recount in this state till this election. And after they recounted this 90% of the precincts in this state, he lost 6 votes or 4 votes. So I think that the state, by putting those attorneys in position in every county, did an awful lot to go forward with voter integrity. In addition to that, we've been working with the state, as every other county is, with training up of poll observers, developing poll watchers, so we can get out there and do what we need to do. So if that answers your question, I think we have a good shot coming forward. I see the people are upset by what they see, and they need an alternative. And they know in this state, for example, unless we get supermajorities, we're not going to change what Governor Cooper does.
Well, unfortunately, whether we have a supermajority or not, the best we can hope for a few years to come is to neutralize Governor Cooper, and then elect a good Republican in his place. Who are you supporting for Republican governor in the next gubernatorial election?
John, at this point, chairmen have to stay neutral till after the primaries. I'm coming out with a statement there, because someone's going to hear it, and I'm going to get in trouble with somebody.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Well, I thought I'd try it. Well, anyway, so what activities are the Republican Party in your area doing to get out the vote and to get people to the polls? A lot of people talk about, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, but when it comes right down to it, maybe they will and maybe they won't. Talk is pretty cheap. What are you doing to boost your membership and your voter rolls?
We're doing a number of things, and I'm going to start out with the fact that we're also educating people about down ballot, because even, I will give you an example. If you know who Major Dave is, Dave doing a great job around this state, analyzing what goes on. And in Brunswick County in 2020, he sent me some data that showed the difference between who voted for president and who voted for my lowest judgeship was 9,900 votes out of 96,000 people. So we have to educate people to work that entire ballot and not just stop at the top 2 or 3 that they know. So that's one of our goals this year. Another one of our goals that we are working on actively is increasing the outreach to non-traditional Republicans. We are working on in 2 different directions. I'm working now with some of the Black community leaders to get some meetings set up to talk, listen, exchange ideas. Because in the case of the Black and Hispanic families, we have a lot in common. We all have a great belief in faith. We all have a great belief in family. And those things tie us together. They're also not great fans of abortion. So, those are numbers we can work. Those are things we can get together and talk about. In the Hispanic side of the house, we're working with a couple of groups of organizations to set up training at our headquarters where we're going to offer classes on Constitution, classes on ESL. We're going to offer some classes on immigration help. Now, the first reaction everybody's going to have is, illegal immigration is blah, 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 blah. And I don't argue that point. I don't believe we should allow that. But there's another reality we need to deal with. Most of the people in our counties, legal or illegal or not, Spanish side, their children are legal residents. They were born here. And those kids are going to grow up to be voters in 5, 10, 15 years. And if we don't start outreach to those kids, they're going to be a heavy Democrat because that's all they're going to know. So we're going to outreach and show that we can be compassionate. We want the laws followed, but we can help you where we can help you, and we can help you become good citizens. And that's what this is. That's one of our outreaches that we're doing. We have one of our people actually going in the next month or so into our high schools to help with voter registration, because many times the kids don't know about it. They don't even know how to vote. So we have classes being developed by one of our people to actually do that.
Well, I wish that every county in North Carolina was as active in the voter preparation and education as you are. The vast majority of the chairmen are conductors of meetings, but I don't get any sense that they're out there doing the groundwork that's necessary to guarantee the success of elections now, but to plow the ground for future elections like you're doing.
Well, the other thing we're doing, and I forgot to mention it, and this is me this time, I have divided the county into north, south, and central, which is not hard. And I spend one morning a month in that part of the county having a coffee with the chairman. Anybody that wants to come and just sit and ask questions, share ideas, just find out what we're all about. I'll sit there for a couple hours. We'll have some coffee, some have breakfast, and we exchange information. And that's been highly successful in 2 places, and the third one starts this month.
Is Joe your district chair?
Joe Agavino is still our district chair, yes.
Man, he's a good man, really good man.
Yes. He's on vacation this week. He finally took some time off.
Wow, that quite an accomplishment. I didn't know that he did those kind of things. Every time I talk to him, he tells me how busy he is. So if he's taking a little time off, good for him.
I got to think his wife had something to do with that.
Huh?
I think his wife might have something to do with that.
They usually do.
I agree.
What kind of, you must have folks down there that are working not with the Republican Party per se, but pursuing Republican grassroots efforts. Are you having that?
We have some groups around the county doing that. We also have a group out there that doesn't necessarily follow Republican efforts, but they're out there doing grassroots work. And sometimes they stir the broth a little too much, but we deal with it.
What is the audit force? Are you having any experience with them down there?
Yeah, we had an issue with audit force about a month ago. Some of our people went out under their banner, and they went into a home. They were polite. Now let me start. They were not disrespectful, but going into people's houses and asking some people, "Why did you vote absentee when you look perfectly healthy?" is really not your business. And secondly, they went into one home and politely asked to see the husband of a woman who's 100, of the man who's 100 years old, and they wanted to prove that he was alive and it wasn't a fake vote, and that did not go over well. There was a lot of stir down here.
Oh boy.
There was a lot of stir down here.
Over anywhere.
The county and the state had no idea what was going on until after the fact, when the news broke. When the couple went to the NAACP, they went to the local newspaper and they raised some concern about what was going on. They felt they were targeted. So that is an issue for us, and I'm still living with it because some things came up. The state party got involved at some point to work with this group, and of course, part of the job of being chairman is you get blamed for anything whether you did it or not. So I'm the bad guy in that one, but that's a relatively small group to compare to the rest of the county. Most of the county is doing extremely well.
Well, their efforts are their efforts helping you in any way, or are they really getting in the way of what you're trying to do more broadly?
I think their intentions were good. I think they just made a mistake, and it caused a big blahu or hullabaloo. And some people, there were some actions taken because of what they did, and I'm of course the bad guy from it. And now I'm unfortunately non gratis in that little portion. That's a tiny little piece of a big county. So I'll live with that, and hopefully, as time goes on, we'll manage to heal those wounds and get back together again.
Absolutely. How are you interfacing at all with the folks up in Jacksonville?
No. I am working with the New Hanover people and the county chair in Pender County. We're all part of 7th, and we kind of work closely together, and we share ideas and things like that. That's true. We do work well with each other. Well,
there's such a large military presence up there. I thought that there might be some bleed over, particularly retired military that would come down from there and locate in Brunswick County, that you might have encountered or be approaching to help you with your ideas and you giving some to them.
Well, we do have a strong VFW and American Legion group down here, and they tend to work with us in general. However, the American Legion has unfortunately told us on a couple of occasions they won't get political, so they will stay down the middle and won't go on either sides of issues when we try to do something with them. So that's unfortunate.
Well, this whole thing about, playing it down the middle is just a means of not trying to, anger anybody on either side. But there's the old thing about when you're sitting on the top of a picket fence, all you get is a projectile up your rear end. So
I remember that. As a matter of fact, Bob Steinmeier might have told me that once.
Well, so what do you think about the future of the Republican Party nationally? I mean, everybody's talking about the new tsunami that is going to be the result of the 24 election and the 22 election. Are you seeing that same thing?
We're seeing a lot of people we've never seen before showing up and volunteering. For example, we're doing extensive training on poll watchers for the primary coming up. And I was talking to my trainer for that just this week, and we have in excess of 45 people have already signed up for the training. And again, we only have 27 precincts, 5 in early voting, so we're not that large per se. But the numbers are there. Our meetings are generally, there's always new people showing up. They're volunteering. They're getting involved in a lot of things. It's been an interesting balance between what I call the old guard and the new people coming in and trying to get everybody to work together. But it's working in our county. People are extending out because they realize we need to elect Republicans. And the other side of that coin is, though, once the Republicans take office, they need to produce. If they're going to keep and stay in power, they need to do it. They need to do the right thing and make it happen.
Are you in favor of convention of states?
In general, I am. I used to be a district person for convention of states a couple of years back. I think it's long overdue, and frankly, I have friends who are very much against it. I understand. We've had lengthy discussions on it, and I can't overcome their basic fears for it, and I don't necessarily understand them, but I think it's worth a try. As a matter of fact, COS is presenting on our April meeting to my board and my membership.
Who's going to be doing that? Who are they sending down?
Henry Williams.
Okay.
He's the local rep down here for the district. So he's going to be coming in, and I gave him some time at the April meeting to present. I know that some of my elected officials down here are just dug in against it, and I've had conversation with them, and they're great people, but they're not moving. And we've argued every issue I could find, they're just not moving them. So, but that's their right. They're elected as a representative to do what they think best for us. They're not there to take a vote of the mob, so to speak, and decide what every time to do what the vote tells them to do. So, though we've tried to work around them, or at least get them to understand, I'm not sure we're going to be able to change the minds of those that are still dug in.
With the way things are right now, if the Democrats continue to overplay their hand and get shellacked in the next election, and especially in 24, there's going to be you can do some of the corrective measures through the ballot box, but that's a constantly moving target. The Convention of States kind of gives an opportunity to make whatever changes are mutually agreeable among all the citizens, and get them all on the same page. I don't know that we're ever going to have another opportunity to do as well with that as we have the opportunity to do so now.
I agree with you. I think that, and it's part of the Constitution. It's not something that's a way out idea. It's written there. But my concern is for my people, and they're going beyond Convention of States. A lot of my new people coming in, they want to see the party and the representatives from the party do things. They'd like to see them win battles. That's great. But if they don't win, they want to see them at least fighting to win. And unfortunately, the party gets a label that they will not go up and fight. And, they need to change that attitude and roll up their sleeves and take on people, and win, lose, or draw. They have to get out there and fight and show people they're fighting for the beliefs that we believe in.
So I talk to people like that all the time. Well, we've got Governor Cooper. We can't. He's going to veto everything we do. So they've got a defeatist attitude. Don't do anything to show their voters that they're fighting for them.
Well, as I want to remind anybody listening, the magic number is 321. 3 houses in the House, 3 seats in the House, 2 in the Senate, and 1 in the Supreme Court, and everything changes. We can stop anything they want to do and overturn some of the stuff with those numbers. But we have to keep who we've elected and then add those 321 numbers to our places, and we can make some changes in this state.
Yeah, you've got so many rhinos, and Bill Rabin, for example, is the chairman of the Rules Committee, and he's simply not. He's standing in the way. And I think he's getting his marching orders from Phil Berger. He's not going to let it come up. Not even going to let the committee vote on it. And there are people like that grassroots people I hear think, maybe he's been around too damn long. We need to get somebody else.
Well, I will tell you this about Senator Rabin. I know Senator Rabin. We've had discussions about what we talked about, and he's firm in what his beliefs are. But even though we don't agree on that issue, I go back to Ronald Reagan's statement. If I agree with a man 70% of the time, or woman, that person's my candidate. And the greater majority of the time, I agree with what Bill Rabin's up to. So on this one, we choose to take different sides.
Got you covered, buddy. Well, it's been a really good time talking to you. It's been so long. I've learned a lot, and we'll put this on the internet. We're on YouTube, of course, but I'm on Rumble and Substack and some others. So going to be a lot of viewers listening to what you and I are talking about.
And when will it be up, John? When does it go up tonight?
Oh no, the lady that you were talking to when we first came on, she's my assistant, and she's got to edit it and put the graphics to it and all that stuff. So it'll be probably sometime next week.
Okay, because I have a meeting tonight of the county, and I want to brag about this. So I'll tell them.
Please, we have. Let me tell you a little something about us. This podcast came. We've been doing this for 3 years, and I have a network of contributors, correspondents, not only in the U.S. but in New Zealand, Australia, Japan, and Canada. This one man that I correspond with lives in Kobe, Japan. Most of us are military people and have, connections with military background. And the bottom line is that, I share everything with my network. They share everything with me. So I have two things. I've got the podcast and an online news service known as Real American News. So the podcast and articles and other informational issues are sent out by email all over, and I have people that with Larry up there in Kobe, he gets responses from his audience, and he shares those with me, and then I put them. I expose them here in this country to my audience and viewers and so forth. So we're doing really well with that. If there are you or any of the others in your group that want to obtain print material, we're sending it out every day. I've got groups. I've got group emails set up so that I can send them to wherever, and we do so every day. And you might get something from Japan or Australia or whatever the case may be. It just depends on whatever the circumstances are that the subject matter is, and we share it back and forth. So if your people want to know, get on that list of, then I can do it, and it take me longer to enter them in my contact list than it will be to send it to them, or I can send them to you, and you can forward them to your group.
That would be fine. If you send it to me, I'll get it out with them next week.
Sir?
If you send it to me, I'll have it out next week.
I will get you on the list, and I've got some that I have sent out already, but I retain, of course, and I'll send you a couple of really good back issues, because there's so much going on in the country, and there's a lot of, particularly with this Ukraine and Russian war. There's an awful lot of material being transferred around, and again, some of these guys have such significant military contacts that they are able to obtain information that is, the media is not telling you everything, and we know that is a general proposition, but there's so much that they're not telling you about.
I have some contacts in my military hookups. I hear the same thing.
if it wasn't for independent journalists like me, there would be most of the country would be denied the opportunity to understand just how bad it is. So
Yeah, but
I'll
John,
be.
there's also a difference with you, my friend. You're an independent journalist with integrity.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And you'll give both sides to an issue, and I appreciate that.
Well, again, thank you very much. It was a pleasure seeing you. It's been a long time, and
You're going to be at the state convention?
Sir?
You're going to be at the state convention?
Oh, I was, and I will be. Yes.
Then I'll catch up with you there. We'll have some coffee.
Look forward to seeing you.